Hello, my loves. Welcome back to the Outgrow Mindset. Today, I have a couple of things I want to talk about that has just really been on my heart lately. We're going to talk about navigating the in-between. This is kind of that era where you have done a lot of the internal work, but your external world doesn't quite match where you believe you should be at. We're also going to talk about the dark side of being a high achiever. This has been again on my mind so much, and this is not to be a negative thing, but it's just to validate you if you are a high achiever or a high performer, because yes, like I feel like people look at us and they're like, oh, you're so lucky, you're obsessed with becoming the best version of you, and like, yeah, I do love that about myself, but it also can be lonely at times too, and there's other things like never feeling like you're good enough because you're constantly moving to the next thing and the next identity, the next goal, right? We're also going to talk about not having to choose one thing. I think we are so black and white when it comes to making decisions about things, but it's okay to live in the gray area. So I have some thoughts about that, especially in terms of my acne journey, which I talk about it every once in a while on here, but yeah, just kind of some updates on that, and just me being a manifesting generator and having so many ideas and thoughts to the world, and everyone's telling you need to pick a niche and you need to do one thing, where it's like, why not lean into just who you are? And if that is multifaceted and multi-passionate, let's fucking lean in, okay? So let's go ahead and get into it. Welcome to the It Girl Mindset, where I help you step into the next level version of yourself by mastering your mindset, manifesting your deepest desires, and connecting deeply with your body. It's about becoming the most authentic, radiant, unapologetic, and unbothered version of yourself. Together, we're going to chat about how to unlock your true potential and create a life that feels as good as it looks. If you're ready to become the healthiest, hottest, and most abundant version of yourself, you're in the perfect place. Let's get into it. So I want to talk about this in-between era. I actually had a good friend / she's also one of my mentors, psychic. She posted a podcast episode about this, and it really got my brain thinking, because that in-between where you're not necessarily at your next level self yet, but you also you're not your old self either. That is like the hardest place to be in, because internally you're like, I should be seeing these different results and my external world should be changing, and it's not quite there. It can feel confusing. You can start to really question yourself. You can start to, again, just second guess yourself, like, am I even who I think I am, And again, I think that can be a really hard place to be in, because you've done so much internal work. You're doing the work, you're showing up. And I think about this a lot with my podcast, where it's like, I had this vision of what I wanted my podcast to be, but for so long I felt like I was just going through the motions and just kind of like, obviously, like, I loved it and I was passionate about it, which is why I've been able to stick with it. But at the beginning, I really thought, I was like, wow, I'm like getting really good at podcasting. Like, I actually think I'm really good at this. But then, I was slowly but surely growing. And, when you think you deserve more than that, it can, again, be a tough place where it's like, am I meant to do this? Am I even good at podcasting, when my external results didn't necessarily validate how I felt on the inside? And again, this is not me coming at you to be like, like, here's how to fix it. Here's 3 steps, right? This is really about, again, just validating you if you are in that, and just being patient and letting go. We had Elisa on, the manifesting queen, and there is such an art to letting go. And my biggest piece of advice for letting go and navigating the in-between is just like, first off, sitting with it, right? Like, just knowing that this is, sometimes it feels like a test, and I hate using that word, but it's kind of this test of like, do you really believe in yourself? Like, do you really believe that you're worthy of the thing that you want? Like, you have to push past this messy in-between part to get to the next level. And again, I don't know if I really believe it's a test, but it's more of just like, how much do you really believe in yourself, right? Because it's like, those in between moments of my podcast where it was like slowly chugging along, if I did not keep the vision and keep holding that vision and knew that I was meant to be a podcast host of a really massive podcast and make a big impact, if I wasn't holding that vision, I would have given up on my podcast so long ago. The messy in between is hard, but sometimes you just have to sit in it, right? Sit in it, listen to your intuition. And I think another big part of it too is in that in between phase, like, yes, obviously reaching goals and becoming your next level and the best version of yourself is so important, but enjoying the shit out of your life is also so important. And I have really found for myself, when I'm so focused on the outcome and not living my life, that's when one, kind of stuck in the in-between phase for a really long time because I'm so focused on it that I can't let go. I'm like so hyper-focused on controlling the outcome that I truly can't let go. I've seen this in areas of my business 100% multiple times, right? Like I've been an entrepreneur for 5 years now, and like there's been so many highs and so many lows, and I've had so many in-between moments. And again, when I hyper-focus on the end goal too much, I find that I'm not enjoying my life at all. It's because I'm like, okay, once I get there, I'm going to be happy, right? When the reality is, it's like our whole life is the journey. Our whole life is not constantly achieving goals, right? It's like the in-between is your life. And so it's like, how can we actually enjoy that? How can we love our day-to-day so much while we're striving to reach our goals, right? And again, I'm talking to people who are so obsessed with reaching their goals that even sometimes that too obsessiveness can hold us back, because when we haven't reached our goals, we're like, oh my God, like I can't enjoy my life until I reach this goal. And I've had so many moments of my life like that in the last 5 years. It feels like way longer than that, but yeah, just enjoying your life while accomplishing goals is so insanely important. And I still catch myself falling back into patterns of like, no, I just need to like grind, hustle, repeat until I reach this thing, right? So I think that's the other thing too, is like people don't understand you, right? It's like you have this vision in your head, but nobody else around it sees you. So like I've had so many people be like, why don't you just like go have fun? Like, why don't you just enjoy your life? Like do fun things. Like, why are you so obsessed with your goals, right? Like I've had so many people tell me that, and it's like, because I see the vision. Like I genuinely see this massive life for myself, this massive impact, this, yeah, just big joyful life. And part of that joy comes from me living in my purpose. And again, my purpose is to make massive change in the world and help women level up their lives and feel amazing in their body, right? And like, if the person you're talking to isn't in tune with their purpose, they're not going to get it, right? They're like, what? No, I want to go drink and party and travel. And, you know, I love going to parties and traveling, but more than that, I love being in my purpose. And again, I think that's the hardest part, is like people don't get it. People don't understand why you work so hard. And especially from the outside looking in, it's like people don't know how successful you are or the goals that you've accomplished. They just see you, or at least just a part of you, and it looks like you're working too much, or you're obsessed with your goals, and you maybe don't spend as much time with friends, and you don't drink, and you don't party. People see that aspect, but it really is just a reflection. It's just a reflection of themselves, because everything's a mirror. They probably are triggered by you working so hard at something and having so much passion and drive towards something, right? When a lot of people don't actually have that. And I want that to kind of be a segue into the dark side of being a high achiever, because again, I don't know, people are like, wow, you're so lucky, you're so motivated. And it's like, yeah, but one, I've done the internal work to get there. I don't drink alcohol. I do mindset work every single day. Like I've invested thousands and thousands of dollars in mentors and programs and my education. And it's not like I became this randomly. I actively chose how to be intentional with my time to be this person that I am today. And people never see that though. People see what they want to see. And one of the biggest things that I've noticed is being someone who is obsessed with their purpose, it can feel really lonely. It can feel really lonely. And even for me, like I've kind of felt like this lone wolf my whole life. Like I just feel like I've been really different than the normal people. And, you know, even when I was younger, I've told you guys this before, like I was completely mute. I was so painfully shy. Sometimes I would cry if people talked to me like this. I remember in 7th grade, like, I don't know, some guy said something and I don't even know if it was mean or not, but I just ran away crying. And then of course he brought that up later and was like, oh, look, it's Ashley. She's going to run away crying again. I don't know. I've always felt so different. Even with friendships, it's so interesting. Like I have this group of friends that they were all from my hometown. I didn't start hanging out with them till like senior year, and they've been hanging out with each other for a really long time. I feel like elementary school or something like that. And so I was really good friends with some of these girls, but I still felt like one foot on the outside. For some reason, and maybe it's a me thing, right? Like maybe I had, you know, subconsciously this wall up, and, you know, we talk about your beliefs being your reality all the time. And if I continue to believe I'm a lone wolf, that's exactly what I'm going to be, right? If I believe that I'm different, that's what I'm going to be. That's true to my world. That's true to what's happening to me. You know, I actually have done some subconscious reprogramming on this and stuff like that, but I also am very intentional with my time, and like I don't want to always hang out and talk about like drama and surface level things. And especially if you're in the personal development world or a healer or, you know, something like that. It's like also, side note, I'm a Scorpio, so I love deep conversations. And so I think sometimes when I'm in group environments and we're just talking about surface level things, I'm like, I just get bored. I want to know your biggest fears. Like, tell me your dreams and goals and your biggest fears and your deepest, darkest secrets. Like that's just who I am. And I think a lot of people in personal development also feel the same way, where like they don't want surface level conversations. And so again, it can feel super, super isolating unless you have a group of friends that are also on the same page. And I do have a lot of those friends, but they don't live near me, right? Like some live in Canada, New York, right? Like they're all over. And so I don't really get that on a day-to-day basis. I mean, shout out to Haley. She is my good friend here who owns the pole studio, and we have the deepest conversations and I love it so much. But, you know, I don't have a lot of friends that actually want to have those deep conversations, right? That live around me. So again, it can just feel really freaking lonely. And again, I'm not telling you this is how you become unlonely. I'm just, again, validating if you are resonating with this at all. And kind of going back to what I said about the vision, it's like your family doesn't understand, right? Because they're just like seeing you work your butt off and maybe not necessarily seeing the payout that you know is coming in your brain, right? Like they don't know the things that go on in your mind. And me, I'm a freaking dreamer. I honestly have always kind of been a dreamer, like just a daydreamer in my head. In school, I remember I had to focus so much because my brain would just wander, and also my anxiety was so bad that I'd be so scared that if the teacher called on me that I wouldn't know what to say, and then everyone would think I was stupid. So that was another belief that I had to rewire. So when I, of course, started doing mindset work, I'm like, oh my God, visualization actually works. So it actually was a good thing. It's okay if people don't understand you though, right? As long as you understand you. And even talking about the last podcast episode where we're not seeking validation, we just have to be so in tune with our self-trust and our heart and our vision that we don't let what people say impact us. And I'm going to be so honest, like maybe 3 years ago when people around me were like, you should just go have fun. Like, stop taking your business so seriously, like just go have fun. And I was not in a place yet where I felt strong in validating myself. And so I did, right? I would like go drink and then feel guilty about it and then feel out of alignment with like who I truly believe that I am. And it was like this constant cycle until I actually did the deep inner healing work to be like, no, girly, I trust myself so much and I see the vision in my brain. No one will understand because you're not in my brain, right? And that's okay. And being okay with that, I think, is just so insanely powerful. What's up, you guys? We're taking a quick little break here because I want to tell you about something that I made for you completely free. Since you know I'm in my soft girl discipline era, I actually put together a 6-week soft girl discipline reset. It's a Notion dashboard designed to help you get back on track without the pressure. Inside, you will find 15 full workouts that combine strength and Pilates so you can feel strong, toned, and confident in just 6 weeks. Inside the dashboard, you'll find a habit tracker, daily nutrition goal, and even a weekly check-in system. You can completely customize your own habits so they actually fit your lifestyle too. And if you love structure as much as I do, you can even sync it directly to a calendar so your reset flows seamlessly with your day. Imagine how you'll feel 6 weeks from now, lighter, more energized, clear-headed, and proud of the discipline you've built in a way that feels soft, feminine, and sustainable. Honestly, can't believe I'm giving this away for free, but if you are ready for that fresh start, grab the 6-week reset through the link down in the show notes today. Okay, back to the episode. Again, when it comes to friendships, like, start making friends online. You know, like, if you see people, like, I'm your friend, DM me, let's hang, you know, like, find people that truly inspire you and get in the rooms with them. That's what I've done. Like, when I went on that retreat last year, I feel like it truly healed a sisterhood wound that I had, because I feel like, even just to get a little bit vulnerable, this group of friends that I had, long story short, I was like really questioning my relationship with alcohol, and I knew in my heart I couldn't go to a bachelorette party. I was like, I'm not okay. Like, I'm depressed right now. Like, I'm trying not to drink. Like, I'm not okay. And I bailed on going to the bachelorette party, and I tried to have open and vulnerable conversations with some of the people, and of course the bride, like, who was one of my best friends at the time. And it was just like, I knew when I got home that they were just all talking shit about me. And I felt like I downgraded as a friend because of that. Like, they all started being weird. Like, even at the wedding, there was weird stuff going on. And like, I just felt very isolated because I was like, wow, this is like the first time I felt like I've truly been super vulnerable about what I'm going through, because it's embarrassing to have to cancel a bachelorette party, just be like, because I'm depressed and I'm not okay right now. It's not actually embarrassing, but in the moment, that's what I felt like. And I felt like I was just completely shut down, and people just were like mad at me because I bailed last minute. And I'm like, you don't want me there. Like, I'm going to be there and you want me to cry every day. I don't want to ruin the bride's time. I don't want to ruin anyone else's time. And they never even asked for my money back. And I even said, if there's any other expenses, like, let me know. And it was like a whole big thing. And they made me feel like I ruined the whole thing. And I'm like, I know I'm like fun to be around and all, but like, there's so many other people there, you know? So it was really, honestly, a tough time. And I feel like I had a really hard time letting go of those friendships, because I genuinely did enjoy hanging out with them. But I think true colors came out, and, you know, it's not all on them. Like, I don't think I was the most amazing friend either, because I was just in a really dark place. But I also felt like no one really reached out. But again, maybe it was reciprocated. Maybe I wasn't being a good friend. I don't know. All I know is that friendship breakups are so insanely hard. And, you know, there's no like bad blood. Like, you know, we just kind of like slowly separated. It still was really hard, especially living in your hometown and social media, seeing other people doing the things together. Like, it can be a challenge, but I truly didn't start to make new friends until I actually let go of those friendships. Me, like, hanging on for dear life, even just energetically. I'm not even saying I was like, hey, do you want to hang out? Do you want to hang out? I just energetically was so caught up in it that I wasn't able to let go. So some things that I did is I had a really deep conversation with my mentor, and we just honestly talked about, like, what kind of friendships do you want to attract? And it's so funny. That's when Haley came into my life. And you can even do things like, you know, vision boards and just following the pings. Like, I've told you guys the story with the pole dancing, where she messaged me about being a teacher, And I was like, no. Like, I just like immediately was like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, not in a rude way, but I just knew. I was like, I don't want to be a dance teacher. It's not what I want to do. Which is funny because that used to be my dream. I thought I was going to own a dance studio. So I always knew I was going to be an entrepreneur. Following the pings, like, and then I ended up running into Haley at a Toyota, and then I signed up for a private pole class, and then our friendship kind of blossomed from there, and she is a friend that I can have the deepest conversations with, and it's so nice. Like, I remember our first conversation, she brought shadow work up, and I was like, you know what shadow work is? Like I was like, oh my God, we need to hang out. Being a high performer, high achiever, whatever you want to call it, like, it can be lonely, but there's ways that you can navigate to make new friends. And even if they are online, because I do feel fulfilled, like even one of my friends, Caroline, the psychic that I've had on here before, now we have like a monthly call where we just kind of like chit chat about our goals and like what's going on in our lives and how we're doing. And that fulfills that friendship part of me. And obviously I'm really good friends with my mentor, Becca. So I see her every other week. Obviously it's like she's my mentor, so we're talking about me a lot, but it's still, again, it fulfills that friendship piece as well. But again, I think the biggest thing with navigating being either if you're in the in-between or you're, you know, kind of feeling the dark parts of being a high achiever, just truly doing the inner work so you can trust wholeheartedly in your vision and trust and be happy with you, right? No one else has to see your vision. Not a single person needs to understand your vision as long as you truly understand your vision. I think another piece of the high achieving is never feeling good enough. And this is something I've done a lot of internal work on because I am obsessed with becoming my next level self all the time. Like, I'm constantly revamping who I am, leveling up, and yes, that's so fun and it's genuinely a part of who I am. But the other side of that is sometimes I feel like I'm never going to be happy with just like where I am in this moment because I'm always looking to the future, always striving for more. And so again, I've had to do so much work to just be at peace with where I am right now while also striving for more and looking to the future. It's this really delicate balance and there's no right or wrong way to do it, but I talk about this a lot, like you can love your body now while striving for more. And I think this is the same with entrepreneurship or just being in the personal development world. It's like, it's okay to want to continue to strive for more, but it's also so important to be so grateful for where we are right now. I even think about myself like 1 to 2 years ago, more like 2, where I was in such a dark place and I would have given anything to feel the way that I feel right now, to be where my podcast is, my success, my business, my freedom, everything, like money and everything. Like, I would be over the moon knowing that this was coming, that this version of me and this era of my life was coming. And it's like, how can I be so present and like live so fully and be so grateful for where I am right now? It's a delicate balance, you know, and there's always going to be seasons to everything. I had this like metaphor kind of come into my head the other week where it's like, there's the seasons, right? I was thinking about this because Tahoe, where we go snowboarding, there's been like no snow this year and it's been really sad, but I also was like in a blizzard there at one point too. And so it's like, even within the seasons, right? There's seasons that we are cyclical, but then within the seasons, it's like a spectrum, right? Some winters it's blizzarding the whole time. Some winters it's, you know, there's little to no snow. Sometimes it's in between, right? It's like we go through these seasons, but it's still not black or white. We're not just in this one place. It's like everything is in this constant balance and constantly changing and all these different waves and all these things. And it's like, the more that we can just lean into that and ride the wave and ride the season, the easier life is going to get. Because if I'm just over here hating my life until I reach a goal, the journey is going to be miserable. And I'm only going to enjoy my life very small percentage of the time. I don't want to do that. I want to be able to ride the waves and feel all of the emotions and just know that if I'm going through a hard time, I know that an amazing time is on the way. And fully trusting that, like with your whole heart, your whole gut. That's why the inner work is so important. doing the work so you fully trust yourself and see your vision. And I know I'm repeating myself, but I just feel so strongly about this because even me a couple years ago, like I was not in a good place mentally. I was really struggling just with my relationship with alcohol. I did not trust myself. I didn't trust myself in my business. I didn't trust myself to show up. Like I was really struggling and I felt so stuck. And I felt like I was in this in-between phase for so insanely long. But guess what? I made it out on the other side, right? And so just knowing that and reminding myself of that, like our brains love evidence. So the more that we can stack the evidence that we always come out okay on the other side, the easier it's going to be to actually feel that way. The last topic I wanted to talk about was not having to choose. And again, this kind of goes along with the seasons and the cycles and the balance of everything. But I feel like everyone feels like they have to have one strong opinion and they can never change their mind. And it's like, you just don't have to choose, right? Like you can believe something wholeheartedly right now and then you can change your mind. I hope that you change your mind about things because it's like, if we're not changing our minds, we're actually not growing. We need to allow ourselves to change and shift and change our mind. Even, I'm a manifesting generator. I have so many interests and so many things I want to do. Am I going to act on every single one of them? No. But what I've learned about myself is I just have to sit with it. And if I'm still excited about it within 4 weeks and it's constantly on my mind and nonstop, I need to take action on that. And also, you don't have to be just one thing. Like, allow yourself to be everything, right? I feel like I'm such a girly girl and I love makeup and I love doing my hair, but I also love snowboarding. I also love golf. Like, I'm down to play golf in the rain and just get muddy and, whatever it may be. It's like, be everything that you want to be. You don't have to choose, right? I did this a lot in business because I was like, I love mindset, but I also love the body. And it's like, you can do mindset, identity, leveling up, personal growth, and still talk about the mind and the body and the health and everything in between. It's like, I don't have to pick one. I can be both. I can be all. I can be everything. This is your reminder that you can be anything that you want to be. Anything you want. Okay? If something is on your heart, follow it. Okay? Don't think about like, oh, I got to do this first and then this. It's like, no. Follow your heart. It will always lead you in the direction you're meant to go. Even for me, in terms of choosing. So I have been on the holistic, natural healing journey for my acne for the last 5 years. I went on Accutane in 2020, and then in 2022, my skin started to break out so bad. The last 4 years, I've been doing it holistically with a naturopath. I love the holistic health aspect, and I love healing my gut and figuring out what the root cause is. And also, I'm at a point where my acne has gotten pretty bad lately. You cannot see it on here. I have obviously have makeup on, but I also film an S-log and it kind of looks like it puts a filter over my face. So you can't actually see what my skin looks like. This is fake. I've been struggling so hard and I realized that it's affecting my quality of life. And yes, all of the naturopathic stuff has worked, but I've realized that I'm at this place where it's really affecting my quality of life and I'm going to also go the Western medicine route. And just because I'm going the Western medicine route and going to go on some things for my acne, that doesn't mean that none of this other stuff counts that I've done. None of the holistic healing, none of that counts. That's just not the case. I can do both. I don't have to choose one or the other. And I think there's a part of me that has honestly been miserable with my skin for a really long time. And it's come in waves, but I have denied myself of going the Western medicine route because I've been so caught up on no, I have to heal this internally and holistically. But it's it comes to a point where it's if it's affecting you that much, like me, I've even started bringing it into my relationship because I'm always in a shitty mood because my skin has been so bad. There's a time when it's okay, I don't have to abandon the part of me that's obsessed with holistic and internal healing, but also it's okay to go and ask for help in other areas if that's what you need to do. It's this balance. And again, it's going to be ever changing. And I don't have to just ignore Western medicine because it's a tool. I actually just had a doctor's appointment today. So I am going to start some stuff for my acne from Western medicine. And again, an old version of me would have been like, I'm abandoning myself and the part of me that's obsessed with holistic healing, but I'm truly not. Like, I believe that I can do both and I don't have to choose one. Okay. And you don't either, in whatever area of your life or capacity of your life that is. Okay. We can live in the gray area, girlies. I know it's really hard sometimes, but we can live in the gray areas. We can change our mind. It's okay. And I'm also talking to myself here. Also, as a side note, I'm not in Hawaii. I was supposed to go, but there was a crazy storm. If you follow me on my Instagram at Ashley Robots, if you don't, go follow me. But I posted on my story about it. But yeah, there was a crazy storm in Hawaii. Oh, it's so sad, but we were able to change our Hawaii trip. Thank God, because I genuinely would have been so scared on that island. Like, power was out, flooding everywhere. Like, it's so insane. I feel so sad for the people there. So we ended up switching it to later in April, but the videos are so sad and really scary. And I'm just so grateful. Shout out, universe. Shout out. Also, I was still sick. Like, honestly, yesterday was the first day that I'm like, wow, like I actually am feeling really good. I still have like a bit of a stuffy nose, but everything happens for a reason. Everything. Truly, truly. And again, once you trust and live from that energy, life just becomes so much easier. So much easier. Okay, my loves, that wraps up this episode. I know this was like kind of a random bunch of a lot of different things, but these are all things that I've just kind of written down that I was like, I need to talk about these. And I was going to make them separate episodes, but I was like, no, I'm just going to combine a couple of things to talk about what's on my heart and on my mind. So I hope you loved this episode. Again, if you don't follow me on Instagram, go do that. And if you loved this episode, share it with a friend or please rate and review the show. It would mean the absolute world to me, and it really helps the podcast grow and get into the girlies' ears that need to hear it. Okay, my loves, thank you so much for listening or watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.